where we have a long tenured owner who at some point in the future will be retiring or stepping away from the practice or slowing down, and what does that look like, and how do we structure that? How do we honor the time and the effort and the development of the firm for many, many years? And how do you value that? It's hard to put a number on that. It's sort of a difficult concept for many businesses, but I think particularly in a law firm where it's a service based business where you're not selling a widget over and over, and you can't just ramp up production and increase revenue or market share or what have you. And so just really kind of trying to figure out a way to really get a fair number for that and a starting point. And then as I was kind of doing the research and go through, it's like, well, this is kind of an interesting exercise as you're planning for the new year and what you can utilize that valuation and those numbers that go into that evaluation, or I'm sorry, into that valuation can help you sort of set some targets for the new year. So I think from a planning perspective, it can be very helpful as well. And there are a lot of different ways to do business valuations. And if you've done any business work, you probably have come across those or read some of those reports. But like I said, from a law firm perspective, there's some different ideas there as well. And so we can get into the specifics of that at some point, probably on a future podcast, and we'll put some links in the show notes to some articles that I've been going through. But the concept I've been thinking about in terms of the lifetime legacy lawyer's value add, if you will, is take a moment. Let's say put yourself in the position of someone who's maybe up for partnership at a firm, and you're trying to figure out a way to value the book of business that you have and bring that to the table. So I think your annual review sort of idea is really a good one. So you're taking stock as an individual of the number of clients that you brought into the firm and potentially the revenue generated by that work. And what do you think your prospective growth is based on the efforts you've taken throughout the year to continue to develop that client base or that practice area? And bringing those items to the table, I think, can help with that discussion of, okay, I'm ready for partnership, I'm ready for ownership, I'm ready for those kind of things. And using those principles to the extent you can help you sort of get some objectivity about how to approach that conversation, taking into account that really there are a lot of corresponding expenses that go along with running a law firm. And that valuation really takes that into account to give you that true number to understand sort of what your net income or profit is at the end of the day.